What's up, YouTube? Have you ever wondered why so many people keep on buying property and you ask, is property a good investment? Now, when you ask this question, is property a good investment? Now, that tells me that you don't know much about property. But then again, I'm glad that you asked this question. You see, it is better for you to ask this question before you jump into the investment itself. Now, buying the wrong property will give you more harm than good. I'm going to show you the main problems when you buy the wrong property. Number one, property is a liability. Unless you buy cash, the property is not an asset, but a liability. Now in Malaysia, if you're a first home buyer, you will get 90% loan to value. However, on the third property, it will be 70% loan to value. Now these are applicable to residential property. Problem number two, unable to rent. When you're unable to rent the property, you will stuck with your mortgage repayment. Whether you rent the property out or not, you still need to serve the installments. The bank wouldn't care. Problems number three, unable to sell. Property is not something as liquid like stock. It is highly depending on the market condition and the property itself. Of course, there are many other factors that will influence the sale of the property. Now make sure you keep watching until the end, as I will share with you the solution to all these problems. Problems number four, dealing with tenants. Now for small money, you have to deal with tenants for chasing up payments, they're not paying up, a lot of complaints, all these things for little money. It's getting worse if your property is not generating any cash flow at all, not to mention that you need to deal with the tenants from hell. Problem number five, property value goes down. Now some of the property in particular, they will go down in value. This is especially true for those new development, those projects that takes about 4 to 5 years to complete. These are the projects that's prone to get lower value when they complete. Now don't be despair, because the problems that I mentioned to you can easily fix, and I have the solution for you if you're willing to do the legwork. Property is truly an asset. Most of us need loans. At the beginning, your property is a liability. We will usually leverage on the bank so that our cash on cash return will be high. However, that is not the case if you have positive cash flow from the rental. That is also mean that the tenant is paying for your mortgage. With positive cash flow, your property will turn into asset. Target tenants. This is the part most of the people they don't do. Before you even put the money into booking the property, you need to know who is your target tenant. Understanding the demographic, for example, the income, the job level, the age, all these things in an area will able to tell you whether the property that you are going to invest is rentable, and also you'll be able to tell if the rental that you are asking is affordable to them. Property is a long-term game. The reason why people are unable to sell their property because they're planning for short-term, and sometimes it's a speculative in nature. Property needs time to build equity. If your property is giving you good rental, I'm very sure that you wouldn't sell the property. Now, even if you want to sell the property, it's much easier to sell because the property comes with the tenancy, with rentals. These are the type of property that investors are actually looking for. How do you avoid tenants from hell? You screen them. Now, usually what I do is that I will interview them to know more about their background. In Malaysia, we don't have such a system to screen through the tenant for any history of eviction. In other countries, for example, in the UK, US, and the Australia, all these countries, they have assessing system to keep the tenants in the database. So we have to do it manually. So what I do normally is that I ask questions. For example, I will ask where do they work, and how long they have been working in that company, and where is the company, and how long you have been staying with your previous landlord. So all these questions will give me the indication whether the prospective tenant is genuine or not. Now when the tenant move in, we have to make sure that we provide them with the house rules. What are the things that we expect for them to do, and also what they can expect from us as a landlord. So these are the things really need to really talk it out at the beginning, and otherwise if you don't educate them, we will have potentially problem in the future. Now how to make sure your property value doesn't go down? Now these are the three things basic that you can do. Number one is research. Number two is compare. Number three is invest. Property value doesn't drop overnight. Even if they do, it takes very long time for them to drop. If the property is a good property, you will see the property price increase rather than going down. Now this is with the exception to the new development. In some countries they call it off-plan. The reason is because we don't know a lot of things that's going to happen 3 to 4 years down the road. Things like how much is the rental, who are living there, what's their occupancy rate, all these things. Whichever the thing that the salesperson or the developer is telling you, all these things are actually a forecast and there's no solid to it. Now I personally, I don't like to invest in an off-plan project because there's a lot of ambiguity into it. So a lot of things is not answered. I personally prefer sub-sale because I can see the solid data. How much is a rental? How much is a market rate? How much is people actually living there? What's the occupancy? All these things I can tell with the sub-sale, but it's not going to happen in the new development. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you don't like any part of this video, please let me know in the comments below so that I can improve in the next video. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. By the way, if you want to learn more about property investment, then you can get a free ebook by clicking the link in the description below. Until next time, I see you in the next video.